Hey MythFits, for just $4.99 a month, you can join the band of MythFits and get so much more.
You guys will be getting every episode completely ad-free, extended episodes packed with extra stories and content we couldn't fit into the regular show, and access to an amazing community of other MythFits who are just as obsessed with the unexplained as you are, and exclusive bonus episodes created just for members.
So if you don't like ads, this is where you need to be. This is an ad-free subscription. So join today at mythfitspodcast.com and become part of the MythFit family. What are some easy clues for spotting AI?
Which direction do you want to go in? Do you want to go in the technical, here's clues in the image, or do you want to go a little more meta, how to kind of spot it regardless of what's in the picture?
How about yes?
Okay.
Welcome, MythFits.
Hey there, MythFits. We are back again. It's Kari Byron and this guy.
And I am Tory Belleci. Thank you guys so much for coming back. Good to have you back, Kari. Good to see you. What's new?
I mean, the usual. I'm baking bread. I'm doing beach walks, but I also got to work with robots yesterday, which was pretty fun. I'm doing a little corporate gig kind of thing, and got to play with some humanoid robots, which was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. They're trying to make them adorable, so that they're not as scary as you might think. But once you start introducing AI into them, they start to feel it's I think there's going to be a lot of fear in the world with the AI introduced into them. But
I think it's going to take a generation. I think it's going to take at least a generation, because it's right now it's so foreign to us to interact with humanoid robots. It was like a thing of science fiction. Now you're seeing them walking streets. You're seeing all these videos of them interacting. Have you seen the one? Oh my gosh. It was in London or England somewhere. And she moves so human-like. A lot of people didn't realize it was a robot until they talked to it. Have you seen this video?
No, I haven't seen it. That is creepy.
Is that creepy? It's like a female face. It's bald, and it's just wearing regular clothes. But the way it moves, it's so human-like, and people are they're freaking out because it doesn't. It's not walking like a lot of these humanoid robots walk. There's one where
not just aspirational, because I've seen some of these videos, and I'm I can barely tell what's AI anymore. I'm still okay. I am still very skeptical of the video, so I'm going to have to do a little research on it, because that also could just be a really good costume or puppet. Because
okay, fair enough.
I'm so skeptical of everything I see on the internet now.
No, it's true. Good, very, very well said. But wait, watch. Just listen to this video real quick.
I love Joy. And Joy loves me back.
What?
Do you love me, Joy?
I love you, Tom. Would you like to embrace?
Is this the creepiest stuff right there?
No, that's not real. That is not real. Absolutely not real.
All right. I mean, look up the company that built Joy.
I feel like that may be aspirational, but I do not believe that video. I'm gonna go fake on this one. We might have to do some research on this.
That's probably good. I mean, that's great advice, because I feel like more and more these days you can't believe anything you see.
I'm so glad that you remembered this, the guest that we have on today, because he's gonna help us get through some of what's real and what's not. Isn't this crazy? We cannot. We can't discern reality anymore. I'm really hoping that my kid has a better sense of what is real and what's not, or we create better gatekeepers. I want really good gatekeepers. I can only, I can go here and know that there's going to be no AI videos, that this is going to be authentic, because I can't go on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I can't go on anything and fully trust what I see anymore. I mean, MythBusters was completely based on like debunking reality, debunking myths.
Right.
And we'd see videos on the internet and they'd be kind of ridiculous. And then we would prove or disprove them. Like, that's impossible now. It's impossible. Like, I don't think MythBusters could exist today because it would be so hard to reenact all the things that we see.
We would be trying to bust every video we saw.
Every video.
Well, if you guys are having the same issues that we're having, where you're just not able to tell what is real and what is fake, we have a really unique guest on our show today. His name is Niko Pueringer. He is a visual effects artist, but I recently saw him on the Today Show, and he was going through videos helping people detect whether it's AI or it's real.
When you said you were going to bring him on, I started watching through his videos. It is very, very cool. He's got some really good tips. In fact, his entire channel, it got me sucked in. Absolutely sucked in.
Is insane. His
Corridor Digital, Corridor Crew.
Yep.
I'm like, it's definitely on my subscribe list now.
But watch this interview on the Today Show and just hear some of his like highlights, because then we're gonna have him on the podcast and dig deeper into how you can tell whether or not a video is real or fake.
For this example here, you can look at some of the details here. That the text is a great thing to look at.
What are you looking at?
So, for example, there's a little sign that says tax.
Oh, tax.
On the taxi.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it becomes far.
Just change it to middle.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So it's those little bits of text are great to look at, but also like watching people. Like there's that guy walking up who looks like a police officer for a minute, and then he just like shows up in the shot.
I cannot wait to ask him questions about this. I want to know more. I want to know more.
So let's bring him on. Nico, welcome to the show, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys too. Yeah, it's been a while. Tori, we have this bond that you can only develop when you shoot Roman candles at each other. So it's good to be back.
So to let people know how we met. So we were doing digital content. Discovery Channel had just bought this YouTube company that was doing all this content, and they were like, do you have any ideas that you want to pitch us? And so one of the ideas I pitched was blow it up. And it was like this idea of the fans could send in things that had bad memories attached, and I would go and blow them up for them. And so as we did this, they were like, well, who else? Like, do you want to collaborate with anybody? And I was like, it was Freddie Wong's channel and then Corridor Digital. Like, I would love to collaborate. And you and Brandon,
yep.
Mm-hmm. They came out to New Mexico Tech, where we used to blow up stuff all the time. And what they wanted is they wanted to build a Minecraft city and blow it up. And so that's what we did together.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good time. I love pyrotechnics, and I'd always wanted to like see like a real detonation, and that was super cool.
Wait, Nico, is that your first like real explosion beyond effects?
Yeah, I mean, you get to see fireballs all the time when you're making videos, but you don't get to see like actual detonations with like, concussive sonic explosives.
How did it feel for you?
Felt powerful. No, it was super cool. Like, it was cool seeing the engineering going into it. It was cool seeing like the team and the facility around all that. I'd been to like New Mexico once when I was like 7 years old or something like that. So it was cool seeing that area. And then, yeah, just the power of it when it blows up, it's rad. And then the slow motion, of course, like you get the treat of like the slow motion afterwards. You get to experience it, and then it's like, getting off the ride and seeing the picture of yourself, except it's the slow motion picture of your explosion.
I hate shopping, to be honest. Like, I just dread it because it's like, you got to go to the store, you got to try on different pairs of pants, and it's just like, you never find the right one. But luckily, we have a new sponsor, The Perfect Jeans.
Are they perfect? Have you tried them on?
It fits perfectly. Look, see that?
Nice butt on those jeans. You have a perfect fit. It looks good. This is the shirt. I'm actually wearing the shirt right now. Super soft.
Perfect jeans, perfect shirt. I mean, seriously, this was the easiest a purchase of a pair of pants, and I love them.
Perfect Jean offers 6 fits from skinny to thick waist, 26 to 52, lengths 26 to 38. Over 5,000 ways to find your perfect fit. No tailoring, no break-in period.
It stretches when you sit, snaps back when you stand. It's comfortable as sweatpants, but they actually look good and they're durable.
Also check out Den Khakis. Same fit and stretch, elevated for office or night out. Their new quarter zip pullover, which I'm wearing right now, is for the perfect layering piece this spring.
Our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc or Google The Perfect Jean and use code MythFits15 for 15% off.
That's theperfectjean.nyc. Code MythFits15 for 15% off. This is really soft.
Now, the reason you popped into my mind, I was watching YouTube the other night and you were on Good Morning America and you were teaching people how to recognize AI videos. So it's like,
That's
our
right.
parents' generation, they're just like, no, that's real. And so watching that was fascinating because it's so pertinent today. Are they real? Are they fake? And I'm so glad that you're on the show because it's like you can bring real expertise to, debunking or proving that, these videos are real or fake.
Yeah, try to spread some awareness as to like how easy it is to do visual effects now. It's easy to, like you go through your whole filmmaking career trying to figure out how can I make these things look real. And suddenly it's like, oh, making things look real isn't necessarily a challenge anymore. There's still a million other challenges in filmmaking to make a good film, but the texture of real, like, kind of got solved a little bit with things like Sora and Veo and all these other, AI video programs. And so we've always been really interested in using whatever like new tools and technology we can do to like show something new on screen that you haven't seen before. And because of that, we're very hands-on with like AI video tools and techniques and open source techniques and like all that kind of stuff. Not to mention the classic like 3D animation, motion tracking. We're in all of it, trying to figure all of it out. And because of that, we've kind of stayed up to date on like what is the most current thing that's happening with AI video. What can it do that's good? What can it do that doesn't work? Like how can you spot the fakery? And as you know, I also basically have a weekly show where I basically break down how visual effects are done and try to figure out, how are they faking it? What are the giveaways? What are the things that make the visual effects look fake? So I've ended up with a very developed eye for seeing what makes something look fake because of that.
You've basically trained yourselves to be AI spotting experts at this point. Do you have any tips for us when we're looking at videos? Like I'm looking at an alien video. Like I was looking at a UFO video today, and I'm going, is that a satellite? Is that just like traffic in a distance? Like, what are some like easy clues for spotting AI?
Which direction do you want to go in? Do you want to go in like the technical, like here's clues in the image, or do you want to go a little more like meta, like how to kind of spot it regardless of what's in the picture?
How about yes?
Okay.
Yes, both directions at the same time.
I'll start with what I think is like the most important one, which is like this is the thing I really emphasized in the Today Show too, which was if it's 10 seconds or 15 seconds or somewhere in between there, if it's shorter than 15 seconds, be really suspicious, especially if it's a crazy thing. It's a lot of it's due to the fact that the services, like the really powerful services that they have out there, limit you to 10 to 15 seconds. A lot of it has to do with just the architectural limitation of how AI video is generated. I mean, to step back and like talk about it for a second, in a very broad concept, imagine I were to show you a picture and maybe a few previous frames from like, a video clip. And I would say to you, like, guess where things are moving. You'd probably be like, well, if it's a person walking, their legs probably continue to move forwards and their arms move like this and their hair wiggles around, you can probably kind of guess what the next movement would be. And that's kind of what's happening with AI video. And the amount of hardware it takes to store all that in memory as it processes it, because it has to like look back at what happened to guess what's happening next, it caps out really quick. And long story short is it gets really, really difficult to generate videos beyond like those 15 seconds. And this will change down the line, but right now it's effective. So if you see something that's longer than 15 seconds and it's like an unbroken shot, like let's say, a crazy video of like a whale and it's like a 30-second long shot from a drone, that's probably not AI. If it's a short clip, then be suspicious. So that's like the very first one to check out. Another one is the upload date, of course. If it's uploaded from like 2023 and before, you're fine. That's not AI, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if those, like, let's say you have a 10-second long clip and it's uploaded from like a few months ago and you're not sure, that's when you want to start looking at like the details in the image. And it's tough because it's almost like an optical illusion. Like, have you ever seen that video where it's like count the number of times somebody passes the basketball, and it's like you're watching a video of a bunch of people passing a basketball around and you're counting in your head, and then video finishes and like they're like, did you see Godzilla? And you're like, what are you talking about? And it's like, or Bigfoot. It's like, and then you watch it again, there's a guy in a Bigfoot costume just walks through the group and you totally miss it because you're paying attention to like counting this basketball, and it's like this, psychology demonstration.
Oh, we know we did that
That's-
on MythBusters.
I know,
We
that's
did
so
with a
funny that you
gorilla
brought that
costume.
up. No, it was you as a zombie. I made Carrie up as a zombie, and we had our crew. We had half of our crew wearing white t-shirts, half wearing black, and it was like, count how many times the people wearing the black t-shirts pass the basketball. And Carrie walks through the middle of the frame dressed as a zombie, and she like goes to the middle of the frame and like does this and then walks out, and nobody saw it.
Oh, the original video was of a gorilla, the one that we were trying to emulate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. How did I
That's
forget I
right.
was a zombie?
Yeah, so like what's happening there is kind of like psychologically is like a little bit what happens with AI video, where like the computer has figured out how to like once again kind of like make you feel like you're seeing something cohesive, if that makes sense. And so you need to kind of like look past that. You need to stop counting the basketball passes, and you need to like, take a step back and like start looking at the details. You look at the background, like does the text make sense? Are there weird letters that are blobbed together? Like when you watch people in the background of these shots, it's really funny because you'll see them do weird things and they'll morph into each other and like they'll walk through walls. Uh, and almost universally across the board, like when you really look at these fine details in the background, they're really just being added there to give the texture of reality, but there's no actual structural reality informing that. So it really breaks down logically when you look at it. Now, you have to put in the work of looking for it. You have to, stop and like examine your video and look at that stuff in the background, look for some text and things like that, which people don't always do. And, when you're scrolling on a feed, but that's like the other way to really dig into it and tell if it's fake. And it's kind of a giveaway. Once again, in time, that might be fixed, but right now that's an effective way to spot it.
I feel like the evolution of like having our kids be such cyber natives, they might be able to spot it without being conscious of it, because right now, structurally, our brains are going to connect all the dots so that it makes sense. But like these kids coming up with AI constantly are looking for that already. I'm hoping that the neuroplasticity of looking for the texture in the background unconsciously creates just smarter kids that can really, they become adults that don't have to look for the AI. They're just like, nah, that is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's actually my buddy's son. It can spot AI videos like that. He just knows, and he doesn't have any of this technical training. So it is a thing. And like that also speaks a bit to like this broader concept of like, okay, if you step away from like it looks real, if you step away from like the texture of real, you start getting into this world of like, well, why was it filmed? How was it filmed? How did this situation come about? How are people reacting? Like there's a whole like feeling side of it, which is really hard to describe. But one of the things to think about is like if you go to the computer, you prompt it like, I want to see a volcano exploding or whatever. It's going to generate you a video of a volcano exploding. Maybe add like, freaked out tourist iPhone point of view, et cetera. You're trying to get some viral hits here. But the thing is, it's not going to give you a video of the ground and then of noise and then of glancing at a volcano and then back to the ground and feet running, because that's not what you prompted it for. But yet that's what the video is about. So you get into this weird situation where AI videos can't really show you something that's poorly framed or something that's like incidental or like something happens and the reaction to that thing happens. It starts to miss all that because it's really just giving you labeled images with motion into a video with the texture of reality on top of it. And you feel that. You feel that like in your heart and your head when you're kind of watching this. It's like, that's weird. And another thing I'd ask you guys, like, okay, so Tori, Kari, if you were reading something, how would you tell if it's real and true or not? There's no picture to look at. It's just words. Anybody can write words, right? Fake words look as real words, the same letters. How can you tell if it's real? How can you tell if it's fake?
It's getting harder and harder every day these days.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at footnotes. You have to find sources. You have to look at the metadata of the footnotes page.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do some research beyond just the media that you're looking at. And we already live in that world for text, obviously. We've lived in that world for a long time when it comes to text. We've lived in that world for a long time when it comes to pictures, right? People have been able to fake pictures for a long time. We're now entering that world where you have to do it for video, but we've already developed kind of like tools as a society to deal with those other things. And I think it's just gonna be a matter of like that evolution continuing a little bit, where it's like, you gotta just who uploaded it? Are there multiple angles of it? Is there an official report about it? It's like, are there
Right.
other eyewitnesses? Like you'll need that resource, just like you don't believe anything you read online. You shouldn't believe anything you see on your social media feed just because you scrolled by it and it popped up in a video.
You know what? The modern American diet is packed with protein, but seriously lacking fiber. And it's causing a major number 2 problem. Imagine a 10 out of 10 bowel movement, no straining, done in under 5 minutes, wipe, and there's nothing there. Well, that's the kind of experience Tushy is bringing to the table. The ultimate fiber and cleanup hack for the modern human. I just got my Tushy and I have heard nothing but great things. And the best part is it's very easy to install and it keeps you clean and it gives you a moment of luxury during the day. Tushy delivers a gut to butt to bowl solution by combining fiber support and luxury bidet technology to improve everyday bathroom health and comfort. Enjoy daily luxury with real health benefits. Tushy helps soothe hemorrhoids, reduce itching and discomfort, and removes 99% of bacteria using only fresh water while protecting your skin. Who wants an itchy butt? I don't. This will make going to the bathroom the most comfortable thing you do during your day. For a limited time, our listeners are getting 10% off their first bidet order when you use promo code MythFits at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code MythFits. Support us, support them. And if you look back at the early days of CG, like Terminator 2 or Jurassic Park, the digital effects were so good, but now your modern day CG, it looks fake. It doesn't look as good as it did back then.
Why do you think that is?
It's a lot easier to do CGI now, so it's all over the place, and it's also easy to use. Not easy, it's still hard to do, but it's easier to use. It's more approachable to use CGI to fix a lot of issues now. But a really good effect is more than just CGI. It's a full magic trick. It starts with the
Right.
writing and how you come up with the shot and how you sell the things that aren't real as being real. Then it turns to technology, and just like a good card trick, for example, uses a different technique all the time, so you never quite catch on to what the magician is doing. You need to do the same thing with your visual effects, where it's like here you're going to rely on the CGI that gets taken over by a real practical effect here. But then we also filmed this stuff on set here, and we filmed this element which is being composited in here, and so it's all these tricks need to kind of go into like really make a shot hit. And back in like the days of like Terminator 2, there were I think like 40 effect shots in that film, and they had a budget of like I can't remember off the top of my head. We actually did a video on this. It was tens of millions. I'm going to just throw out like 40 million also. I think it was something like that for the visual effects. So you're looking at like $1 million per effect shot, and they
That's
are important
crazy.
effect shots, and that's like 1990s money too, you know? So when that hits, what you're getting is like, you're getting everybody in the film working together to execute that one shot. And those shots still exist these days. There's films like F1 or Avatar where it's like everybody's coming together and they are executing at the highest level on delivering a shot. And those shots look perfect. They look great. But there's so
Mhm.
many other shots in the films that have like a Marvel film that had like 3,000 effect shots, where not every effect shot is planned and set up to be this important, expensive tentpole thing. It's just tell the story, get on, tell the story, move on, and that's that kind of thing. And that's the CGI that stands
Interesting.
out. So yeah, in '90s is
Interesting.
just expensive and rare, and that's why everybody put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you able to even watch a movie with the cognitive dissonance of being able to keep the imagination going with the same time just going, yeah, I know how they did that effect.
No, it's a curse.
You can't enjoy any movies anymore.
No, it's impossible.
F1 they were claiming it was a practical effects movie, but then they got nominated for best visual effects. And then they're like, oh yeah, we did some VFX. Tell me, because what do you like? What is your opinion? I know you did a video on that, which was amazing, but what's your opinion about that?
Well, I don't think it's necessary to hide or downplay visual effects, which I think sometimes marketing on a movie can end up doing that. But with something like F1, there's a ton of practical stuff. And, Top Gun did the same thing, where it's like the conversation definitely turned towards people saying, like, oh, there's no VFX in Top Gun. And I think what they really should have emphasized is like they filmed a lot of scenes in planes doing the real moves, like with real flying, so you can feel it. And then amazing visual effects artists came in and did amazing work replacing the planes in the background and changing the horizon and changing some stuff in the cockpit. But you still have the actors going through the visceral, real experience of like pulling 6 Gs in a jet, which is
Yeah.
huge when it comes to like connecting with somebody in a film and like feeling that the film's a spectacle. So there was a moment, I feel like it's chilled out a little bit, but there's a moment about like 3 or 4 years ago where I feel like it kind of peaked and like, film companies trying to be like, no, there's no CGI. It's all real. You're all tired of CGI. Trust it's all
Yeah.
real practical stuff. And they would try to hide it. And then people are like, why are you just hiding the work of, artists and people that contribute to your film? And like now
Yeah.
it's balanced out a little bit more. But, it's like you have the same issue with stunts too, where it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
you gotta hide the stunts at a certain point.
Nico, when you're taking apart movies for your channels or you're like, we could do that better or we could fix that. Do
Mhm.
you ever get like response? Do you ever get tagged by the people who made the movie and they're like, what? Like seriously?
Yeah. We got some wise words from a Jedi that he's like, it's really cool what you guys are doing, but you may want to be a little careful with the phrasing of doing better or fixing, implying that all the people that worked on it before you screwed it up. There's a couple different versions. Like, so we do like going in and remixing and retrying things. I'd say that like the last big one that we did like that would be the Luke Skywalker deepfake. Because they had just done the
Oh
Luke
yeah.
Skywalker face
You,
replacement.
you did a better
Yep.
job.
Thank you.
Your
I can't say
your
it
version
now,
was
but
so
thank you.
it was like, whoa. It looks like him.
Yeah, it's like, and then to me, that was also like the very forefront of like, hey, there's crazy new tools that are coming out, not from the big studios, but from like the open source community, where it's people doing experiments, and a lot of it's coming up with machine, through machine learning and things like that. And that was like a culmination where it's like, this is a perfect example of us having all these like crazy, nimble, cutting edge skills that might actually let us achieve a shot at a higher level than like what ILM was doing. And that's the story we went with.
Can you just quickly explain, because if you're a Star Wars nerd, you know what we're talking about. But if you haven't
Right.
seen that movie, ILM they created this young Luke Skywalker, and the fans went nuts because it just looked odd. And so you
Mhm.
guys went back and recreated it. And what did you do to make it better?
So we did a deep fake. I was at the time I was actually I've been doing some work with Deep Voodoo, which is the South Park creators like AI company, because they were trying to work on some projects that involved that kind of technology, and so they put together a team. And so I'd been spending the past couple of months basically, you know, in a room with some of the other best AI training deepfake artists in the world, all figuring out this technique. So I'd just done this like Tom Cruise thing that turned out really great for, and blew me away with what I was able to do on my computer. And so I was armed with all this knowledge and like these tools that, in reality, like in the more traditional film industry, like these big effects houses don't move all that fast. If there's a brand new tool that comes out, it's going to be a year to 2 years to 3 years before it proves itself, gets implemented in the pipeline. Everybody's like busy working on shots with tools that kind of already work. So, there's this leg that we have like a zone that we can take opportunities in to like do new things. And so when they had dropped that Luke Skywalker sequence, it was just a couple shots, and it was perfect for me to jump in and be like, I can make a deep fake that looks as good, if not better, than what ILM did, in my opinion. That was my attitude at the time.
Yeah.
And I went for it, and we made a video about it, and I ended up creating a face replacement for Luke Skywalker, which, to me, like these are visual effects tools, right? Being able to replace the face on your actor, replace somebody's head is like a crazy challenge in visual effects. And for like a scrappy YouTube company to be able to do it was really cool to me. So we had made a whole video about that. But needless to say, the whole angle ended up being like, we made a better Luke Skywalker than ILM. And and that's not a very respectful or nice way to approach that. And truth
Dunking
be
on
told,
your
like,
heroes.
yeah, exactly. And like while our face might have been better, like there's the whole aspect of everything else that they have to do. It's like,
Yeah.
they have to do the whole costume, they have to do the voice, they have to do the rest of the effects for the scene, they have to do it for part of a whole episode or series of episodes, so it's a little imbalance too, where we get to just focus on this and this face only, and then we get to call it a day and say we did a good job, so
Yeah.
either way, it was a great
awesome.
experience and I learned a ton. The thing that I have been most surprised about the past couple months is how much easier it's getting for people who aren't programmers to start creating tools that they need that there's not been a big enough demand to inspire a company to hire programmers to make. And a lot of that applies to us as filmmakers, where it's, I need a little tool that organizes my clips like this, or I need a thing that can do this kind of effect. And there just hasn't been somebody to make that. And so through the use of, Gemini, Claude, et cetera, all these, programming tools like Cursor, Anti-Gravity, we can start making our own tools, and it's becoming a lot more approachable because you can still be an expert and have like this incredible domain knowledge, which is super important, but you might not know how to like fire up Python and actually program it. You can explain it, like textbook definition, explain it, but actually writing the code is hard. And that's changing right now. And that's really interesting. That's how I made Corridor Key, this, neural network based green screening tool that I just released that works great. It's like
That's
I got really
so
sick and
cool.
tired. Have you guys seen any clips from it by chance?
I
We
haven't
just dropped
seen-
it a
I mean,
week
I
ago.
saw the thumbnail, but I haven't watched the video yet.
Okay, yeah. Long story short, I hate green screen. Green
I
screen
do
king
too.
sucks.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
a
guys have
big
all been there.
fan.
We've all experienced the pain of trying to make your green screen look as good as what they do at Weta and ILM, right? And it turns out the secret sauce is just putting a lot of time and labor and just hand painting stuff. Like the secret sauce is there's no secret sauce. It's just brute force. And that's another reason why I don't like doing it because I want my shots to look good. I just have to brute force it. So, you know, as an artist, like there's got to be a better way of doing this. Like my car can drive itself. I can talk to my computer. Like, why am I still using like a 30-year-old plugin for a green screen that just says like, RGB pixel value subtraction? I sat down with Google's Gemini, whatever your LLM of choice. It doesn't matter. But I use Gemini in this case, and I did a bunch of research, and I spent 2 months writing a program. And I trained up a neural network to remove a green screen and do like the correct unmixing of green from semi-transparent
Nice.
pixels and all that kind of stuff. And it works pretty good. I don't want to like
Wow.
toot my own horn here, but like it actually works and it's one click. You don't have to do eyedrop or anything. It handles motion blur, it handles hairs, handles blurry edges, and you give it the shots and then it gives you back a keyed shot with correct edges. And you're like, oh, this is how it should be. And I did that because I
take that,
I vibe
Hollywood.
coded it.
Got you again. There's one of your videos. I got an email from my friend's father, and he was probably in his 80s at the time. And he was like, "Look at this. This is the new technology. You should, like, this is terrifying." And this is about 6 years ago, and it was a kind of Boston robotics robot, like a humanoid robot. But he was at a shooting range, and he's like shooting all these targets, and the guys are like walking up and hitting him with the hockey stick and like kicking, pushing him down. And he's just like, "Can you believe this? This is what the army is using." And as soon as I saw it, I recognized you in the video, and I was like, "I know the guys who did that video." But it was so good. I feel like you fooled everybody with this video. It got like over 90 million views. But Niko, you're a perfect person to ask because, like, have you seen the Beijing? It was like China was rolling out their new humanoid robots, and they were dancing on stage with other
I saw that.
acrobatics.
Yeah,
was that
amazing.
real or was that AI?
Oh, that was real, 100% real. But like Kari said, it was very pre-programmed. You're effectively having a robot execute an animation combined with like physical awareness of if it has balance, which is, don't get me wrong, very sophisticated and complicated.
Very cool.
but that you're also right. It's a long ways away from being like, robot, do my dishes. And it goes, yes, I heard you. I understand you. I'm responding. I'm walking. I'm like, that is so much more complicated than just like execute this preset routine and don't fall over. It's just, which is still complicated, but like, yeah, we're a long ways
They're
away
still
from
puppets.
them.
Like they're
Yeah.
literally still Jim Henson puppets.
No, exactly. And the thing about puppets though is like, there is an aspect here, which is I wouldn't be surprised if robots end up being effectively a way to pull in remote work from international locations where this is dystopian. This is the Hideo Kojima vision of the future right here. So, where people hire robots and then somebody from, an impoverished country just basically logs on and gets paid less than minimum wage via crypto to actually run the robot and do the work in your house, for
Yeah.
example. That's what I see happening with robots in the next 5 years. Because, like you said, actually getting them to do this stuff is really hard. But what's not hard is puppeting them.
Right. A
Ooh.
VR headset, somebody in another country's doing your dishes and stuff for you. But they're also
Exactly.
That's weird.
like,
Yeah.
Where does this silverware go?
Do you guys want to hear a funny story about that robot video?
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
If you guys have not seen this video, you have to go watch it because it is like one of the most realistic and funny videos out there.
yeah, it's funny because like it was looking really realistic, and the first one we made had fooled a lot of people too. So we made a point of putting in like a box of killer bees as one of like the tests the robot has to go through. So people are like, "This is clearly fake. There's a box of killer bees," which by the way didn't. Joe Rogan still thought it was real. Aaron Rodgers still thought it was real. They were talking about it on his podcast. I'm sure you guys are familiar with like if you're at like a gathering and like you see somebody else who's like a big name in the industry and you want to approach them and you're nervous, like how do you introduce yourself? And perhaps one of the worst ways to introduce yourself is to pull out a phone and show them a video. Well, we were at a music video shoot. Well, so it's a gamble. It's always a risk, right? Unless the video you're showing them is so good that it actually surprises them. So we were at a music video shoot for Snoop Dogg. One of our buddies was actually directing a music video, and we got to go. They were going to help out with a shot. It happened to be a deep fake of Tupac, actually, that we were doing for the music video. And he introduces us to Snoop. And Snoop is really nice, very like generous, very, polite and respectful. And he says hi and takes the time to meet us. But clearly is going to say hi, then forget about us 5 seconds later as he goes on with his life, right? And Jake, one of our producers, he's like, so what do you guys do? Like, oh yeah, we do this channel, we do effects. And Jake has the video ready on his phone and he rolls the dice. He rolls the dice. He goes, here, check this out. We did this video recently. And he pulls out his phone. I'm like, Jake, what are you doing? This is Snoop Dogg. He's like, and as he pulls out the video and hits play, Snoop's security guy, who's like, a longtime friend of his, he's like, oh, I've seen this video. It's really good. Which is like, Jake rolled the dice
like,
and he
yes.
got a 20. And then Snoop proceeds to watch it. He's like, that's really cool. Guys, this got me thinking. I've been trying to figure out a way to do some sort of like virtual tour stuff like the Gorillas. And he just launches into this big, like, talk about tech and performance capture. And like Jake nailed it. He took the longest shot with that phone, pulling it out of his pocket to show to Snoop.
Wow.
And he just landed it. Thankfully, Snoop's buddy was like, I've seen that video. It's sick, which is like the opening of the door that we needed. We got a tour of the dog pound. It was great.
Dude.
Did you smoke a joint with Snoop Dogg?
No, he actually made a rule to no longer smoke on music video sets because all the crew stopped being productive.
That makes sense.
And hungry.
Yeah,
That
he
makes
gets to
sense.
smoke still.
Niko, thank you so much. What are you excited about that you're working on, or like, is there any projects that you're looking forward to let our audience know about?
Yeah, and people should check out Corridor Key. We have a GitHub page up for it. There's a graphic interface somebody made called Easy Corridor Key, where if you're not familiar with Python scripts and stuff like that, you can just download that, double click the install in that folder, and have a working tool. People are working on plugins right now. It's free, it's open source, so I'd love to get feedback and see what's working. If somebody's like passionate, wants to jump in and help make it better, maybe we can solve green screen keying once and for all, through the power of open source.
Nice. And then they
Awesome,
can also
yeah.
find you on YouTube with both of your
course.
channels still. And thank you
Yeah.
so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. It was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was great seeing you again, Tori, and Kari. It was really nice meeting you and doing this podcast. It was a blast.
Thank you so much, Niko, for helping people figure out what's real and what's not.
Yeah, you bet, guys.
Hey, MythFits, did you enjoy that as much as we did? I really
It-
liked it. He's such a cool guy.
Nico is the greatest. Like, he's such a great guy, and he's just so knowledgeable when it comes to all this stuff, visual effects and video production.
He's so your people. You guys definitely bonded out there on the bomb range, but like, I
Oh,
love special
dude.
effects people. Behind the scenes are so cool.
It's so funny because they had so like a lot of their videos, they would, make digital explosions, and but when they came out to New Mexico Tech, and that's how we responded when we were first around high explosives, it's like another experience. And I just remember they were like giddy. They were like so excited to blow up this Minecraft village.
I mean, that first time you feel that like boom, like that hits your chest kind of feeling, it's so different than watching a movie where it's like, we all know now after years of MythBusters, that's just like diesel. That's like burning diesel, making these beautiful big
it's just
plumes.
fireballs.
Yeah, because like if you actually saw what a real explosion looks like in the movies, you'd be like, wah, wah. It's just a pop. It's just, poof. And unless you watch the high speed and feel the like that concussive pressure on your chest, it's not real. It's not real.
And that was the other thing that they were stoked on, is that you could see the shockwave in the high speed shot where they were just like, that looks like CG. It looks fake. And we always used to say that you see the shockwave and it pushes all the air and it creates this bubble around the event. And in high speed, you can capture that air getting pushed away, and it just doesn't look real.
Now, when I'm watching movies and they do explosions, I swear I feel like if they added that concussion, it would look more real. I'm going to give this advice to movie makers now. It's easy apparently to do with AI. Add the big concussive bubble. That way people like, Tori and I, we're going to be able to watch it and feel like it's more real. Do it for us.
And then the shockwave on the ground, that's another tell where you see the dust, you see a circle emanate out and the dust kicks up. It's pretty incredible. You know what, MythFits, we want to ask you, what did you think of that humanoid female robot in London? Is that Kari thinks it's fake. I'm not sure. We would love to hear what you guys think, whether or not that video was real. If that was a real humanoid
what I'm
robot.
hoping for is, could you guys send us more videos of robots, whether you think they're real or not? Because Tori, I hate to do this to you. I looked on Snopes, and you know Snopes is like one of our resources, like a MythBuster resource. It's not real. It's not AI. So the owner.
Do we want to ruin it for the listeners? Come on,
So
Kari, don't be a Debbie Downer.
They are making AI robots.
Believe.
Yes, they're making AI robots, but that particular video is a human in a costume.
Oh, come
But
on, Kari.
when asked,
I bet you're going to tell me Santa Claus is fake too.
when the spokesman for the company was speaking, he kept deflecting from the question because he wanted people to believe it's real, because they do make those. But I'm going to tell you from Snopes, myth busted. It's not a real video. The humanoids are not there yet. And I can tell you, I've worked with some of them very recently, and they are very cool. They are doing some really cool stuff. Okay, MythFits, I would love for you guys to send us your clips of robots, AI, things that you want to talk about. And if you want to send them to us directly, join Band of MythFits, because that's where you can upload videos. You can send us. We are constantly communicating with our fans on Band of MythFits, throwing some bonus material in there and that kind of stuff. But come be part of the community so that you can have this conversation with Tori and I, because we are always like sending each other these clips. Like, I text Tori all the time. I'm like, oh my God, did you see that? And he'll be like, nah, that's not real. We do this all the time. So come join our text chain. Go to mythfitspodcast.com, join Band of MythFits. We're all up in there.
And go get a t-shirt so we can identify you out in the real world.
And like Niko said, that's how you support your artists.
This MythFit question comes from Anna. What modern myth do you wish you tested on the show? And were you ever told that you are taking your myth testing too far?
I think that some of our revisits, we took it too far. Like, I got like like splitting an arrow. We did it
Oh,
over
gosh,
and over
yeah.
and over and over. And it was because people really just did not want to believe it. And
Yeah.
everybody had a friend that had done it.
That one we tested maybe 3 or 4 times, and it was
Yeah.
like you can't split an arrow. So yeah, that would be a good one too, that we took too far. But sometimes I feel like we don't take it far enough. For example, I have a friend who I saw him recently, and he was like, the episode where you guys tested if you get mud in your shotgun and you shoot it and it explodes from the cartoons, you got that one wrong. He's all, that's happened to me, where he like was climbing out of a blind and he fell and the gun got jammed with dirt, and then the guy shot. He didn't know that there was dirt in there, shot it, and it split open. So
No way.
maybe we should have continued testing that myth. I don't know.
Did he have pictures of that?
I don't know if he does. You know what? That's a good question. I'm gonna text him and see if he's got a picture of it, and I'll be like, if you don't have a photo or video, it didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
all kinds of modern myths that I feel like we could still test. Like there's, I love the one that, like out in Sedona, that there's these like places where the energy is different, and that a dog will freak out if it walks into these energy fields. Cause I mean, it's just a reason for me to take my dog to Sedona, whatever. But like, there's kind of like these funny urban legends that are still out there. I would love to do something more Area 51-ish. I mean, there's
that's a good
there's
idea.
a lot of modern mythology I'd like to tackle.
This was good. This was informative. Like, I feel like Niko had some really good suggestions on how to tell whether you're watching AI or not.
I mean, the one that got me the most, like I'm always looking for mismatched text in the background that looks kind of weird. Like I got that one. Like we all know about the 6 fingers or whatever, but the idea that if it's longer than 10 seconds long or 15 seconds long before it clips to another thing, like it's not continuous. I mean, I never thought of that. That's a good one. Yeah, I feel like a lot of like real videos now I think are AI. They've broken me. I'm so broken now.
We're
Like,
AI right now, Kari.
I don't trust anything. Well, you do look really good. It's like you haven't aged. So I would believe.
Thanks. I would say the same.
I would believe it.
We are AI, everyone, if you're watching. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. This is awesome. We love you.
Yeah, and please keep feeding the beast. Go to mythfitspodcast.com. Give us suggestions. Talk with us. Sometimes I'm lonely, and I just turn on the app, and I'll just talk with you.
Sometimes I'm lonely. All right.
Sometimes I need to talk to the
On
old
that
community.
on that weird note, keep it weird, MythBits.
Stay weird, MythFits. See you there.
Pioneer.